better than I can see through that dang window. Anyway, you watch the smoke that comes out of these vehicles, ladies and gentlemen. When it turns from white to black, there's no turning back. And the blacker the smoke gets, seems like further down the track they actually go. John Boyd doing the driving on the Screaming Norwegian will be our first one up out of Stockton, Wisconsin. He'll get the chain tight. You'll see him get a green light on the sled, then he'll wait for a green flag on the track, and he'll be underway. Remember, he does have the option to accept this or drop down 6 or last in the class. This class has 11 entries, and 11 of them go. Watch that smoke, ladies and gentlemen, as he builds smooth. We are going to leave the sled set that way and run another one. That'll be the Wicked Whitetail. Jeremy Roberts out of Sullivan, Indiana. John Deere for you guys, John Deere guys. As the track officials are discussing on radio, we got a lot of room. Let's run them. So that's what we're going to do. Now see that 5 we got to get all that grading back in the best we can. Until we get a rhythm here, it'll take a little bit. Once we get a rhythm, those guys will grade, roll, a little faster.
Well, thank you very much there, Larry. How about that first run? That was pretty neat. And he thinks he can go farther, so let's hope he can. Well, he will be last. And that's a neat deal. That looked like a good run right there, but he thinks he can do better. Maybe we're looking at a full float. You never know. We'd like to thank everybody in our armed services. Again, thank you so much. Mike Zubik and his crew for the awesome RC flyover. Anybody and everyone that supports the Dirt Oval, we thank you for everything you do. Keep these events going, and don't forget the big one, August 30th. The only time the Wicked Team demos that national along with live music fireworks. Love to see you back here in Dirt Oval again. That's Saturday, August 30th, the 100th Team Demolition Derby. There's a 2021 Chevrolet Julie out there in the parking lot that belongs to me, and every time I put fuel in, I put in the fuel in. I also run the motor oil. Picked up 4 pounds of oil pressure. Simply like I have 50 I did. 4 pounds of oil pressure by changing in their oil. Every day keeps the fuel station this weekend. Stop and get a free sample while they last. Stop by the Hot Shot Station. Tell them that Larry sent you and get you that seat. So we're ready for the next tractor to come up, and that should be Wicked Whitetail. Good looking job here out of Sullivan, Indiana. Should be up next.
go. Jeremy Roberts out of Sullivan, Indiana. You've got the green light on the sled, green flag on the track. Let's see what he can do. Remember, the first distance doesn't count, so he dropped it, so it doesn't count. This will be the first official measured distance of this class. 9,300 pounds super ball. Princess and Superhero has future tickets to the huge event. Future tickets now is almost sold out. I know the suites are all sold out. And I'd like to give a big shout out to Noreen and Gabby for all their hard work getting that collaboration with the Joliet Slammers baseball team out of the Frontier League going. I do all my Christmas shopping at the Pro Towing concession there, which I've been actually merchandise store. I had my mind on the team starter like this day. Anyway, the option of having a special sled, 8,667
remember the days of International Harvester. We had one over a big building over in Burr Ridge. My next door neighbor lived in Woodridge, worked there. Took a tour of that back. Man, fell in love with it already. It was impressive. Then I went back to Iowa and everybody had gotten over. Now what do I do? Never bought a t-shirt with either one of them on there. I had to say safe with family gathering.
Go to Jack Fly and buy one of those shirts that are kind of generic. It looks like a deer, but it looks like a cake. I'm just that's what I do. My wife thinks I only wear free clothes. A logo or something with hats and seats or whatever.
Nothing wrong with that. Pretty good.
Free hats.
South Carolina and Illinois fan. I mean, I could go blue, I could go green. I was living there. I could go blue, I like division too. Who's your fan?
I live 45 minutes from Purdue and about half of all I know is Coach Mike was trying to get that old Oregon chair across the court.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, it was big and hard.
Yeah, that was my favorite football player. Mike Allstott played at Purdue when I played down in Tampa and so forth. The local guy here from the Joliet area that gives back to so many people in football.
I've gone to Purdue, Ohio State, etc. But we've got one family. There's mom, dad, and two sons, and they all have gone to Purdue. our major sponsors here at Circle. They Maxwell manufacturer out of Joliet, Ohio. They're respected as the nation's foremost manufacturer of dump flatbed, transfer trailers, and pneumatic tanks. Max Trailer provides ongoing solutions from high-tech support and product innovation advances in your capability. National leaders in trailer manufacturing business. Max Trailer serves the industry with a trailer to meet rigorous needs. Let Max Trailer build your trailer. Tell us what you need and we will already have what you want. Check them out at maxtrailer.com. Check them out at Summit Racing or go straight to arpbolts.com. Where you can just keep reading, and you know that. Summit Racing Equipment. Always get more for your money at Summit Racing Equipment. Proud sponsor of the local industry. Use their microphone mark at SummitRacing.com. Brand names like ARP, Cadence, batteries, and more. Also find tools and special stock equipment, plus plenty of parts for your trailer, cover vehicle, or high-performance vehicle needs. Download the Summit Racing app and shop anytime, anywhere. Winning shows. Right now, extra ad. Get here and say they found what they needed and they're going to repair it. You know, SCS Gearbox knows that many of their customers have specialty needs when it comes to gearbox on competition vehicles, whether it's a monster truck, a pulling vehicle, or whatever it is. They build custom gearboxes to suit your needs. They also own and run Probell. Probell Bell Housing Company is also owned by SCS Gearbox. Check them out at scsgearbox.com.
And also, race fans, you can follow the Dirt Oval all over social media. TikTok at Dirt Oval 66. Give them a follow. You can see them on Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitter, whatever they call it these days. Check them out on social media. Give them a follow. You can also check them out at dirtoval66.com for all the upcoming event information and ticket information. Make sure you get your tickets early. There's a big event coming up August 30th, the 100th team demo. Don't want to miss that. A lot of big names coming out of retirement to take part in that event.
So they get old guys to come in and mess with the new guys?
Oh yeah, it's 8 cars and it's total carnage. The names from back in the days have been Orange Crush, Mean Green, some of them that have come over from Santa Fe Speedway, brought their talents over here, unlike LeBron James, where he took his talent to wherever it was, he came over here.
LeBron. I'm in Indianapolis, and we almost made it. For some reason, we didn't get the roll of the dice. We almost got it.
Well, if it wasn't for those darn Achilles, it could have been all the difference.
Achilles tendons are nothing we mess with. And you actually can see the video of Tyrese from the top.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, he's going to sit out the whole season. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's painful surgery.
Couldn't even imagine.
Oh well, then they traded Miles Turner, and he's going to the Bucks, I believe. And Miles Turner was a key player too. Now that we're going to talk about basketball. It was so
As we digress.
Did I mention the Thumping Pumpkins up next? You're sitting there waiting for them to come in the fire.
I wonder what goes through their heads, especially like this, when you're kind of jacked up, ready to go, and then all of a sudden you have a little bit of a break.
Well, it's frustrating. I actually did that 1 year before that guy and halfway announcer when nobody else was available. But yeah, it's kind of tunnel vision. Once you hear the engine running, what little nerves you may or may not have, even if you've been towing for years like Shane has, until you hear the engine running and the oil pressure light might either go out or the gauge go up. Once you have that happen, it's pretty well tunnel vision towards the other end of the track. But it's a nerve-wracking sitting there waiting to go, especially when that all looks up and then it's going to go.
Looks like they did get it fixed.
Oh yeah, they got it fixed. It's back in.
Quicker than an NASCAR picture.
Well, you know me, it's pretty good. I don't care what it is. And it's sort of subject is a lot of engineering. And most generally anymore, even the promoter, the drivers actually sometimes promoter in a local track, go with a vehicle. We have a few guys the majority of them are all set engineers. You get the high sign, they're ready to go. So it gets it fired up, and once again, you watch that smoke. Seems like the blacker the smoke gets, the more power they build, and the further down the track they go. Our leader is at 332.54. That's it. This is the Beat 4B. Shane Masters with the Thumping Pumpkins. Don Slama, Alabama, Wisconsin. He promotes the event, Hillsboro, Wisconsin. Big John Deere dealer, owns several stores, and he tough competitor in the super farm class. He's helped a couple other guys get tractors together in Wisconsin for the class. Big supporter of the Pro Cody League, and you can't ask for a nicer guy. Slama Equipment, that's Don Slama. His whole family is involved in sport. He supports it, and like I say, in Hillsboro, we're up there in August. Put on a wonderful show up there all year. Calls it Fast and Furious, and he's a tough competitor. Big class that rock and roll fast team. In fact, I messed up this afternoon, Bill. How you doing? I said, whenever you get a really nice view, John, you're getting in there. Let me know. He goes, what part of the day last week? Oh. I didn't think next week. I may come back to Hillsboro, Wisconsin with a different color skin.
Those farmers back in the day, farmers very under-approved. I feel so bad that you get more respect.
That's the job. I mean, that's one of the few industries where you take whatever the market will give you for your product. Yeah, I don't longer farm. I actually can't rent mine out to a guy. I know exactly what my farm will make there. Don Slama, look at this. 339.
Quick question for you. Now that trailer, they started right out in the middle of the track. I noticed that the last puller was drifting toward the far wall. How did they straighten the tractors out to try to get them back toward the middle of the track where all the traction is?
Excellent question. All of the pulling vehicles have independent rear brakes, and they steer it with the brakes. We really don't use front wheels once they get the chain tight, so it's very little weight to be in a perfect weight transfer machine type of setup. We have the front wheels on the ground, a couple inches, with the back wheels are how they steer it. And it kind of drifted left, and I see Don let it drift left. Now they have the option when you pull the sled back there, like it's going back now. They can go middle, right, or left side of the track. They can choose where they start from, thinking they might get a better shot of it. And one of the guys were out here earlier, we seen out here watching the track. They were trying to decide where the good spot, the bad spot, the wet spot, whatever it is.
I noticed that some of the drivers had to stick and they stuck into the mud.
Oh, yeah. Well, most of these four-wheel drive motors, I think they're going to go fishing. I think they're going to go squirrel. But nevertheless, they stick the track and see if it's hard or how compact it is or whatever. The guys with the long sticks are easier than the guys using the pocket knife.
Okay, well, I know the difference. Yeah, I saw them out there. They're different types.
They're trying to evaluate where the most compact, but yet not too dry path on the track is. Now, they up with the tractor that is the Bayside 8, and it did get a 175. The tractor the damage was on. It's all high maintenance. That's what's going to be done. We'd also like to thank Nickel Tires and Nickel Tire Cutting, two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive Martin tires, as well as CN tires, as well as Beacon. Beacon, tires 145 and 345 32. Tires in the country. Also, thank you for the performance products. Sell a lot of reconstructing and a lot of discovery markets. Check it out. Find out the Crown Turbocharger, power flow system, flow CP3 injection pumps, and cylinder heads, and for your Cummins Duramax. Check them out at performance.com. So this is high maintenance job finally matched up with the sled.
Sharp looking tractor.
Yeah, well, most of these tractors are so close. I mean, when you walk through the pits, it's just amazing the engineering that goes under the hood and the way they look on the outside. It's about smart. High maintenance up there. Look at the V4B street turn, 9.9. all winter.
It'll gel up, right?
Well, that's biodiesel that gels up, but nevertheless, it'll crystallize and cause all kinds of problems. They got a new product, something brand new on the market for your depth system on your diesel cycle.
I think my dad used that in our diesel vehicle saver station wagon. We actually had to plug that vehicle in. I'm not sure what that was. Everybody asked. I have no idea what it was for, but
if it was a vehicle saver, it probably had an Oldsmobile diesel in it.
Probably.
It was converted, and you had to take that little check valve out and knock that glass ball out of it with a number 8 nail, and then it would run.
That would explain the hammer in the vehicle.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I had a few of those vehicles myself.
I remember the rear-looking window, and that was fun.
Facing backwards, waving at the truckers, yeah. Hooked up, the name of it, Brian Barkman, out of the middle of Wisconsin. That's it.
So many tractors, I mean, within like a foot of each other. It's so close.
Oh yeah, we got 340, 339, 339, 2 338s. And then we go down to like 332, 346. I mean, yeah, they're right there within 5 feet of each other. It goes to show that the track is holding up well.
Shout out to Sherry Eckness, her staff, crew that got this track ready to go. You guys coming in and making it the best track available. It's awesome to watch.
Well, I mean, we can have a guy or two come in and assist them, but the local maintenance crew is vital. Like I say, whoever's in charge of that crew, they do need a shout out because they've done a fine job of taking what our guys have for it and guiding them and turning into something working with.
I tell you, here at the Dirt Oval at Route 66, we love the Pro Polo League, and it's getting bigger and bigger. It's our second year here, but fans really have come out this season to take a look at these tractors.
So now I have a question for you. So those that are standing up there on the bike rack, is that like a VIP?
It is, and I tell you, they are within feet of these beats going down the track. So that is like a bird's eye view of these tractors, these trucks, these semis, and everything that just comes flying down this track. I mean, they can smell the beats and you feel the thunder on their feet.
It's, well, my insurance purposes, I can't be closer than 20 feet to the white line. I'd say they're about
I would agree.
So, yeah, our parameter of the track, that's right there. But I figured that was VIP.
Great view.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Not a bad seat in the house.
No, there's not. And there's only 88 steps to the top of it. Positive ground. Chuck Newsbury out of Rio, Wisconsin. Up next, looking to meter B 340 and change. toughest ones in the United States are right here.
Now, as we get into different vehicles, Larry, do they get a lot louder?
Yes. Right now we're starting with Smoky, and then we'll go louder, and then we'll go, and then we go louder, and then we go back to Smoky, and then we finish with my rod semis, which are Smoky and exciting. With 20,000 pounds of on the highway. I believe we have 5 of them, which by today's standards, most of them are out from the ground. No matter what division it is, right. But we have some tough ones coming. Great show. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. We're just getting underway with the first class of 2 to go. And we're up next with the 4-wheel drive. Not a cubic inch limit on 12 engines that are 850, 900 cubic inches. Naturally aspirated under the hood of a 4-wheel drive truck. secret booth here behind the grandstand and picked up your winter package. They have a selection of products from Hot Top Secret that goes to the winter 340.28 is our leader. 340.28. Congratulations will go to Brian Barton, hooked up at 340 and K. Second place will be 339.53. We have one more to go. Somebody just told me we have one more. Sorry, I blew up. Still at 340.28. That's the distance between 4B. It truly is a wicked whitetail. So let's see what he can do, John. Your fans ready, Mom. second place last night in Troy, Missouri. And he's come ready to pull. Gunpowder and Lead, Terry Hagedorn out of Thompson, Missouri, will be our next competitor. Looking to be 4 beats, 315.5. Hot Top Secret Diesel Extreme is the official fuel additive of the Pro Towing League, and it's the strongest diesel injector cleaner on the market, trusted by thousands. Diesel Extreme is a complex 6-in-1 fuel additive that cleans and protects your injectors while boosting your fuel cetane by up to 7 points to give you that extra horsepower, torque, and fuel economy that we all want in our diesel engine. Available nationwide at O'Reilly Auto Parts, Advanced Auto Parts, AutoZone, Walmart, and many others besides Amazon, or you can go to hotshopsecret.com and order yours today. And if you have no question, anything you buy today down there at the booth, I believe is 30% off, so you might want to stop by and see what they got that you can use. Gunpowder and Lead, Terry Hagedorn, Thompson, Missouri, coming up next. He took first and second with his 2 trucks last night in Troy, Missouri. Let's see what he can do. Looking to meter beat 315, Terry Hagedorn. Got the green light and the green flag. Dustin Terry. sled and the chain to pull the back of the truck down. And all the other weight they want on the front so they can get that front axle in the ground. It's pretty interesting concept. 133-inch wheelbase on these trucks, no cubic inch limit, and they can weigh a maximum of 6350. Southern Bell, up next.
That wasn't my strongest subject.
Well, let's put it this way. There's a lot of stroke on that engine. If you're limited to a 5-inch center-to-center bore spacing and unlimited cubic inches, really the stroke is the only thing you got to remember.
You see a lot of catastrophic type events with engines like that with that much horsepower.
No, honestly, they live a lot easier, a lot longer than you would think. I believe it's close now to that. They'll have downrange and stuff like that, but it's more downrange push rod droppers than you do anything else. But then the push rod on an engine that big is a really long push.
Gotcha. Unlike what we would have obviously right here.
Right.
A lot.
Yeah, but anyway, the Radical will be up next. Delivered by Steve Clem.
Good question. That's what series we have come through. I mean, the world of outlaw sprint cars. We have late models. I mean, everything's a little bit different. But
are they all based off of small blocks?
Most of them are.
I thought they were.
Yes.
My dirt experience goes 350 straight line. Where you guys turn that?
Yeah, I mean, when you have the world of outlaws sprints that are here, they're doing a lap around this track in maybe 60 seconds.
How long is the track?
3-8 months.
3-8 months.
Yeah, pretty quick. Yeah, 900 plus horsepower.
Good looking truck and calls the Radical. Steve Glenn doing the driving. Sales Kentucky looking at meter 315.51. Well, something changed. I say that Ted Cook made the right decision by taking that distance.
Yeah, that's smart. It's almost like a flip of a coin. You get a feel for that track. You just know that, okay, that's probably the best that I'm going to get.
Once it gets hooked into it, you can feel it in the seat of your vehicle, and nobody's better than Jim Boggs at knowing what he's done and what he can do. And I say he made the right call. So I don't know if it'll hold or not, but right now it's number one spot. Steve Clem looking at meter B, 315.51.
any sort, whether it's straight line, turn left, turn right, whatever it is. Smashing and crashing. Their race is where it's at, and I tell you, it's at its highest point in attendance right now. There's so many tracks, people are coming down this road just to watch whatever's on the track.
Well, I have to agree. I mean, we've seen the gone COVID and all the electronic means and everything, and I know today's generation is virtually come and they would talk to each other, but I was on that track, great scene, and you know, a little burden for your fingernails and down to the power and put to the ground. So truck and tractor pulling have been around a long time and been a part of that. And like you say, I think the revitalization of the dirt tracks in the area and similar tracks to get a much better crowd, much better following than they have in here. So good to see dirt tracks on the stick.
It just seems like they're just these tracks that are sitting there dormant. They're bringing back to life. Yep. And just waiting for the opportunity.
You know, Advanced Steel Select Drop Input offers proven products and their crop potential. For the farmers by a farmer, directly shipped to you at no cost, free shipping. Check them out at AdvancedSteel.com. Also like to thank Harvest Diesel and Machine. They sell quality parts for truck and tractor pulling at reasonable prices. Their products are made in-house through their machine shop, and they have decades of experience in the industry. Their goal is to always supply their customers with the best rolling parts with at the time, and new parts coming all the time. Harvest Diesel, one of our proud sponsors. Cody Lewis calls it fired up. Good looking truck out of Macon, Missouri. Remember our leader is 315.51. Cody Lewis calls it fired up. Let's see what he can do. Our leader's just 315, and he needs to watch that mark. That was a reasonable facsimile there of the fat guy. That's going to bring up somebody that's pretty close to home. John Stick out of Morocco, Indiana, calls the truck Stickin'. queue again, so you'll be able to see what the difference is. Some tracks that don't make a difference that much, but on this track, I'm good at fighting out, it will. As much as Jason's a good friend of mine, I call him my nephew all the time. And no blood, but he actually was a four-time consecutive. So a good running truck, a good guy, but he is at a disadvantage in the small race. We'll find out if Jason made it or not, but I know his truck's here. Corn fed up next. Look at the heat 4B. 316.28.
If it's gold, me and you are gonna.
We're gonna go shopping. what division it is, these vehicles are car show quality vehicles. I wouldn't be ashamed to dust them off and shine them up and put them in the World Wheel Car Show or anything. I tell you, it's amazing some of the paint schemes, and of course now with the advent of all the wraps you can do, you know.
Well, it's funny you mentioned car show. We got a big one. Maybe you guys can come back on October 5th.
There you go. All right.
It'd be cool if they fired one of these guys up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Look at that. Let's see what you do. Get the chain tight. Wait for the green line on the sled. Green flag on the track. Got the green flag. Let's see what he can do. Remember our leaders at 3:16 and change. Jody Lewis. Fourth place was Terry Hagedorn's other truck, Gunpowder and Lead. So Terry's in the top 5 with both trucks. Guess how they finished up. That's going to bring up over to the top 5. That's what they have to do. Turbo car to do with it. And they, most of them are, that's not all of them. And they turn. So we're reweighting that. Well, like I say, I'm not an announcer. I just talk. I try to talk and tell people, share what I know. Anyway, it's quite important. It's a family-oriented sport. I bring 3 children in the sport. Of course, they're all adults and have their own children now, but it does my old heart good to see some of the kids that I've been running now in their 30s and 40s that grew up playing with my children in the bitter days. Very, very close. So you know that Kawasaki Parts Warehouse is one of our sponsors, as well as Art Turbo, Max Trailer, Nickel Tires. A lot of people I've already mentioned, and a few more that I will mention, as well as Hot Shot Secret, our title sponsor for 2025. So glad to have it on board. Bob Gansber's got the green flag. Let's see what he can do. He's our 10th floor. And he came down the town and loaded 255.
going a long way.
Once it lit, it was gone. Nice run. That Optimus sled, Bumgarden sled penalty was doing a heck of a good job. Hasn't had to reset. He's been on the running on the sled section. Our third class. There it is. It's up there. Future Aaron Hall. Once again, you're watching a Pro Towing League event. You're watching it home on ProTowing.television. Glad you're with us. And if you're here, even more glad to witness it in person. Next weekend will be in Canton, Illinois. There this will go. You can check out our schedule at ProTowing.com. You can check out points. You can check out live results on ProTowing.com. And again, the live stream is ProTowing.tv.
Pretty neat stuff. Be here in Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah. It is neat. Start doing the live stream thing, people say, well, you know, it ain't the same. Well, it ain't the same exactly, but it's dang close. You're home, don't want to travel, can't travel in the car. You don't want to pull up anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world on the internet, you know, and then don't force it on the guy. Whatever you do, don't type in Larry Bitcoin on YouTube, because it's about third to the side. And it's over. You could adjust that to whatever your beliefs might be.
I was just about to say, I tried to keep this curtain back in the day. They don't even use it anymore.
Well, you know, they don't even teach them how to write their name here.
Where do you write their name?
Right. Or the tell Siri to call it for them. I can't say Siri very loud. My phone will start calling. Right? So I'll say here too. My Siri is lost. Taking care of business here at home out of Lamont, Wisconsin, guys. Give it up for him. That may be all he gets tonight. Here at home is taking care of business. Field Ford is up next. Scott Whitworth out of Worthington, Missouri up next. Called it Field Ford. This is John Deere. Scott Whitworth will be our next competitor. In the 8,000-pound unlimited super stock class.
How's everybody doing tonight? Enjoying this event here tonight with the Pro Towing League? I was for my brother's show. 4 years
My parents played the football. They were very
Yeah, my brother lives one town over from me. 4-year difference. I've got 2 daughters. when they just say, okay, enough is enough, you've gone too far.
No. On a track like this, you have plenty of run out there. You don't intend to have to go on. The football going to go as far as they can go. And it is. Let's go out past where we get killed and work the track where it becomes dangerous and hard surface or something. Running popular early in the season because it was cold. It was 30 degrees in Florida when we ran in January. We actually postponed the Friday night show until Sunday because a lot of them couldn't get there. That's when the ice storm in North Florida.
That's when the iguanas were falling out of the tree.
Yes, they were. They were landing face down. It was however the iguana wants to fall.
Yeah, unlike a cat, yeah, they don't just fall on their own orders.
Calling out of time. Let's see what he can do. Good looking John here. cylinders, a bunch of antique tractors per se, alongside of that road where it was I came up. And I thought, wow, I mean, it's cool. It was fine, 10, 15 miles south. But some of you may know where it is or who it is. But pressing the question, he had parked up on the road and didn't say auction or anything.
Come up via 55?
Yeah.
Okay. And that would be down by the Wilmington area? Somewhere in
I did drive by Wally's, which is the would-be competitor of Bucky's.
That's the Illinois version of Bucky's. Yeah, smaller, younger brother.
Oh, okay. What do they got for mascot? I know Bucky's is a beaver.
Wally's? I'm not sure. They got good old horse sales. They got great out there. You go to Bucky's, you get everything.
Bucky's is like Walmart and 7-Eleven at a big. And it's a beaver.
A big one.
Yeah, I have to admit I stopped with Bucky's and I'm going to the Florida Bowling all over. I stopped with them and the next one. 3 or 4 of them in round and bike. That's the only reason I stopped. I don't go side
So much. A friend of mine went through the one in Missouri. Took like 3 hours.
not to mention the wall of jerky.
Yes.
Whenever you got a wall of jerky, well, my medicine's helping them out.
I just did a chair. And all that.
We got everything from cornhole to flip-flops.
I do. I went down to South Carolina. Graduation for my cousin and his family walked into the pool area with fucking swimsuit. And you're like, are you kidding me?
Headshot of the beaver on the swimsuit.
They
You
did.
know, we got Minneapolis Bowling Team 1000 coming up.
I'm right.
Craig Peterson up here last February. Our leader stood
352.88.
Ford, John. Good looking North sponsor, John. One with Superstock diesel pickups. And we've got 10 of them. And there's only about 13 in the country. So 10 of them are running right here for you tonight. We had 9 last night in Troy, Missouri. We picked up one. Turbo cars, engine under the hood, four-wheel drive diesel pickup.
We're saying is some of the vehicles you see here, these are most of them in the country that are right here tonight.
Right. One that this is the time of year where sports houses and strongest cars and dirt. And most of the vehicles tonight here are big trucks, but they're alive and the rest of them have names. This is the T1000 Minneapolis Bowling. Driven by Craig Peterson out of Omaha, Wisconsin. So you bowling fans. This is the tractor when they sold them new. You could have a power unit engine put in it from the dealer that was 1,000 cubic inches from the factory. They didn't come to the factory, that means the dealer didn't put the power unit engine in there, and you buy it from the dealer for 1,000.
Waiting all day for this stuff.
Oh yeah. And it runs as usual. You're right down there with the leader. Turbochargers under the free pressure stations. Alcohol permit. 8,000 pounds. Unlimited super stock tractors. This class. They're was the Miller with Jeff Host doing the driving. Third place, Run Steer, Bob Ganser at 335 and change. Fourth place, Run Steer number 2 at 332 and change. And fifth place, 349.52 for the Warrior tractor. That's got your top 5 finish here. You're done with the best finishes. Right back after the 7,500 pound diesel super part of the diesel truck run. Once again, he'll be our test loader, so he doesn't have the option to drop and come back or whatever. No, I noticed the fireworks guy in the booth next to us. He's eating nachos and having like soda pops and stuff. I noticed he's enjoying himself, surfing the internet on the phone. We're over here working feverishly. No soda or no nachos. I'm just, you noticed that? No, we don't really want any, but you didn't really offer any nachos. I mean, soda pops and nachos.
Somebody wants to drink some up.
No, not that.
No, they were all set up by 4:30. I'm going to tell you, you want to see a fireworks show?
He's going to push a few buttons. It's going to go boom.
And everybody's going, it's awesome. He does a great job. Every time that we're here, he'll sit over there and, he's just like, okay, ready? And then as soon as it goes off,
Oh, I see. He's checking the soda now. Anyway,
we'll take one or two of them.
so what we're saying is fireworks actually get better, right?
There is.
Cool.
They're just after the semi.
The charger going, push the button.
Oh, when he pushes the button.
Yeah, that's right. Rock, fire, rain. Let's see what he can do. 2 Franklin.
These trucks do put out a lot of smoke, a lot more than some of the other ones. Very best fireworks show in the Chicagoland area, right at the conclusion of the semi-trucks. Definitely want to stick around for that.
So while I'm trying to scoop drag down these 887s, they're going to be throwing orders and flashy things in the air, scaring my fat down to the bottom of the gravity dog. And he's going to enjoy it.
Can enjoy the last
Now he's
shift.
enjoying that cool refreshing soda. Anyway,
I do like the fact that they actually give you enough cheese for chip ratio here.
really, okay.
Run out, have it. Very good.
That's some gaming information right there on
$1,000 power.
double pick it up with that white and boom, your turbo board, 66.
Like baseball, the walk, strike up rate.
He's trying to communicate. We don't know that I'm deaf. We don't know what I'm doing.
I heard he said, I enjoyed my chips with cheese. He did.
All I heard was and a food. We're eating in your mouth. Anyway, plan a bull up there. Truck. That's outside. Going later. Young Marshall doing driver. You got that underlight thing going on. All the kids are doing it. The neighbor kid, I said, with underlights looking at my golf cart. He went,
I turned that with my Equinox. I didn't focus yet.
you know, the street drivers being coached in the landscape, they're all in the same game. They're all in the same radar. That's Eric Hall and the other 2 guys.
All tonight.
So plan the bull. We are ready. The distance to beat is 347.55. Everybody's starting on the right side, let it go left, aren't they?
Remember, TV takes the same track right here.
I bet money.
gotta use your strength. You gotta use that.
Well, he's not doing it. I don't know what's wrong with him.
Just like Fort Phillips. You gotta use the ball.
He's trying to give it that pitiful look like that guy giving I don't work.
Maybe someone will bring up
He's powered up the fireworks. I'm afraid he's going to hit the button in it.
and maybe one underneath our seat.
Well, you know what? I promise. Anyway, here's for nothing next. In my lifetime, it might be me. Maybe I was famous when remember the guy from Oregon texted me, said it sounded like we were talking way far away. He is in Oregon, so why wouldn't it sound like we were talking way far away? Correct. I wonder how we sound now. Don't know yet. Never do that. Look at the beat, 347 on the freeway. He's doing the gear signature.
Don't forget to head over to the Team Demolition Derby Facebook page. They're doing something pretty darn awesome. They're doing the countdown featuring the top 100 of the best moments in the biggest crashes from 1999 to now. Head over to Team Demolition Derby Facebook page. I tell you, I've seen some here that cars are rolled over on top of each other. It's amazing. Don't forget to give them a follow. There's new content every day leading up to that 100th event. Oh, it's not. It's crazy.
You know, I'm kind of in charge of safety.
You don't want to be here. What do you do?
You do that I don't.
That's still 0 fun. Yeah. offer therapy here, so that is part of the insurance program.
I think it's tough. The Antler Addiction's up next with Mandy. Well, they come from all over, it sounds like.
It's awesome.
And the dirt oval at 66.
My kind of play right here. This is something like we were talking about before we got on the
Well,
air.
it's a semi-class coming out. We've got Ohio, Wisconsin, Ohio, Iowa, and Ohio. So, yeah.
We grew up on kids. Fairs.
They didn't quite run like this.
No. There was a lot of
Right.
I can't. That's fun.
That's very nice. I just went down to the big mountain. That's an It's just like an illness. You can't get over. You can't prevent it. And you can't quit. They all come on with it. Because that's like quick. Next thing you know, you're spending thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to build something that's not going further than you did 20 years ago.
Yep, get that interesting.
Oh, yeah. Antler Addiction's the next one out of Wisconsin. More to go, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Antler Addiction out of Eagle, Wisconsin. Once again, our leader was our first one. John Kingsley, 3.7.5 miles. Something don't sound right. Remember, he has 2 attempts at 100 feet, and if he wants to go back and try it again, I don't know if he's got problems or what's going on. They can drag you back and he can try it again if you get it to light. Yep, you're going to pull it back and you're going to try it again. goes up to 160, 180 feet. And a lot of finesse.
Looks like he shut down the power plant.
Do you suppose those children that are beating on our door, you reckon they're like building a wall, or maybe got some of the
I hope not. I'm not
the borders that he's going to shoot off against the door?
I hope not. I'm not jumping down these windows.
Awesome. I ain't jumping 30. Alright, let's give it another chance. Gotta get the boost up on it, get it spinning, get those turbos spooled up. And let go. See what he can do.
said this is a family run.
Yep.
I mean, so many people running different divisions, running with their grandchildren, their sons, their daughters.
It's seriously a family-oriented sport. I'm very proud to be part of it. But now fans doing the driver in the next truck, his grandson didn't leave. His grandson is fine. I told him, don't tell your hair by the border if you're about to do it. But anyway, next thing he is driving. all kinds of merchandise with promo. Do your Christmas shopping now. It's only tomorrow. Let's see what he can do. Look at the week, 4 weeks, 3, 4, 7. Semis are limited to a